It was a beautiful day. It was a Saturday when I decided to go to Martha's Vineyard with a few of my friends.
She told me that she was going to rent a moped, and I was very nervous about that.
So 1 minute, we're literally having such a great time driving. I was feeling super confident and comfortable, and then the next minute, I see a dump truck coming in the opposite lane as me. Everything blacked out, and then I just remember waking up and being on the ground. The guy that was driving behind us actually was the first person to reach me, and he just quickly took his shirt off, and I just asked him, why are you taking your shirt off? And he said, I need to stop the bleeding. And that's when I realized that my left leg was gone. The first thing I did think of was lacrosse and sports. And I thought that my life was over, and I thought that I was never gonna be able to walk again, let alone play lacrosse. I looked at this one woman just saying, can you call my mom?
I got a call on my cell phone, and a woman, was very frantic and said that your daughter's been in an accident.
She said, you need to get to Martha's Vineyard immediately. I don't think your daughter's gonna make it. I could hear her screaming hysterically, like at the top of her lungs. I just remember taking the phone and saying the words, Mom, I love you, I gotta go.
We got a call from the hospital in Martha's Vineyard and said that they were med-flighting her to Boston Medical Center and that she was stable. I was so relieved. At that point, I said, as long as she's alive, I can deal with amputation.
Being wheeled into the hospital, the first people I did see were my parents right before surgery. They actually had to take the knee during surgery because it was just too mangled, it was too messed up. And the next person to come and visit me, it was my head coach at UMass Lowell. The first thing I asked was, am I still on the team? I remember praying every night. I was like, I promise if I get a running blade, I will give it my all every single day. I will never take anything for granted. I will never complain. I just want to have purpose. I just want to run again. And that's when I actually heard back from one foundation, the Challenge Athletes Foundation, saying they were going to grant me with a running prosthetic. I just said to myself, I really don't want this to define my life. I remember putting my leg on, my running blade, and I was harnessed in a treadmill. And I really couldn't run for more than 10 seconds at a time. I mean, I was just focusing on getting back in shape. So by the time it was over, the summer was over, I had lost about 25 pounds, and I was feeling really good and really confident with my running prosthetic. And that's when I actually returned to practice. I probably fell about 50 times during that first practice, but I mean, I loved it. I just loved the feeling of being back on the field. A moment presented itself. I was able to return to the lacrosse field for my very first game back. And then I got a perfect feed from one of my teammates from behind the net, and I just remember catching it, quick sticking it back into the net, and seeing the ball go in, drop my stick, and I just started sprinting away from my teammates, and having my teammates sprint after me and embrace me. I mean, that was honestly the best moment of my entire life. And when I look back on the video and watch it, the best thing about it isn't the fact that I scored the goal, it's just the reaction that I got from them and my coaches and the fans, because none of it would have been possible if it wasn't for them.
Noelle came to me with all the gifts already in place. She's a former athlete, and she's used to being coached. When I first met her and her first step, I said, what the hell was that? We're running track now. She has really come a long way in a short period of time. And now I actually have close to a track athlete. I'm not gonna call her a track athlete yet, but very close to a track athlete.
I just found out about this one race that was really big, and it was in Arizona, and I just signed myself up for it. I remember crossing the finish line and just realizing that I actually won the race. So training for Tokyo 2021 now, that's honestly what my teammates did for me, and it's because of them pushing me and getting me to that point. If I was by myself, I would probably still be laying in bed from day one. And it started with my mother, it started with my parents, it started with my siblings, my teammates, coaches, and all the amazing people that I've gotten to meet since then that have helped inspire me and get me to that point where I need to be. And so I'm grateful for all the opportunities that have been given to me, but I'm just excited for the future, and I'm excited for proving the doubters and proving to everybody who thinks that they can't, that they 100% can. And just because they have such a tragic thing happen to you, it doesn't mean your life is over. You are the sole person that can indicate where your life goes.